When we talk about a series or progression, we have to first understand it is basically a sequence of numbers added together, or you can say the sum of a sequence of numbers. Now, what is an arithmetic series then? Well, let's take a look at this sequence of numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. What you will easily notice that each time 2 is added, now in this situation, since we are adding a constant number to each number in a sequence, it is arithmetic. Now, given that we have this sequence, let's say this is the fifth term, we call it A1, A2, let me use a different color, A1, A2, A3, A4, and A5, right? Now, given that we want to find what is A20, the 20th term, how do we find it? Well, we could, of course, we could slowly add one by one, but that wouldn't be very efficient, wouldn't it? So, there's this formula, quite simple. You take A1, so A20 equals A1 first term plus the difference multiplied by the number of terms you want to find, n minus 1. Okay, so D is the difference. How do we find D? So, quite simply, D, let me use the same color, D equals the difference. So we are adding 2, right? So the difference is 2. You can easily find the difference by taking the second term minus first term. Right. So in this case, our D is 2, and our N, well, we want to find the 20th term, right? So our N is 20. So therefore, we will get A1, which is 2, plus D is 2, N minus 1, N is 20, minus 1. Our N term. So if you calculate that into input that into your calculator, you will get 40. And yes, your 20th term will be 40. Alright. Now, let's say you want to find the sum of the first 20 term. Let me use a different color here. Sum of the first 20 term. Right? So you want to add 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 all the way up to 20 up to 40. You found it 40. How do you find? Add all this. The sum. How do we find it? Well, also quite simple. We use the formula. So basically what we do is we take the first term that we want to find plus the last term, A20. Then we divide by 2 and we multiply by the number of terms you have in the sequence, n. So how? A1, 2 plus A20, 40. The average, 2 divided by 2 multiplied by 20. And then your answer will be 420. And that is how we solve arithmetic series and progression problem. Now let us do some practice questions, right? Now moving on. Determine if the series sequence is arithmetic. If it is, find the common difference. Now, for question number 1, we can easily see that the difference is also plus 2, right? 13 plus 2 is 15, 15 plus 2 is 17, right? So we want the common difference is 2. The 52nd term, A52. Remember that the formula is to take the first term plus the difference multiplied by the number of times minus 1. So in this case, 13 plus 2, we want to find the 52nd term, 52 minus 1. So we will get 115. The explicit formula, well, the formula 13 plus 2, 52 minus 1, given that the explicit formula basically means that given that we don't have n, right? So we have 2 n minus 1. Well, we can simplify it. We'll get 12 plus, never mind, let me slowly do it. 13 plus 2n minus 2 equals 11 plus 2n. And there's your formula. And the 3 terms in the sequence after last time given. So obviously very simple. We got A4 is 19. So A5 equals 21. A6 equals to 23. A7 equals to 25. And that's your answer. Now, question number 2. 4 to 7 is plus 3. 7 to 12 is plus 5. 12 to 19 is plus 7. Plus 3 plus 4, 5 plus 7. Now let me ask you, is this an arithmetic sequence? I don't think so. Not arithmetic. Because it's not adding a constant number to each following sequence of numbers. Now, number 3. 2 to 5.2, 5 over 2 to 3 to 7 over 2. Now, this may seem a little bit hairy at first, but now let us take 5 over 2 minus 2. What will we get? 1 over 2. Now let us take 7 over 2 minus 3. 7 over 2 minus 3. Well, you got 1 over 2. So it's actually adding a constant. Adding 1 over 2, 1 over 2, 1 over 2. And it's actually an arithmetic sequence, where the difference is 1 over 2. Right? And then the 52nd term, of course, as always, A52 equal to first term 2 plus half plus d n minus 1, 52 minus 1. And what will you get? We will get 27.5. Or you can say 55 over 2. Or 27.5. Now, the explicit formula equals 2 plus half n minus 1. Of course, 2 plus half n minus half equals, well, 1.5 plus half n. And then there's 3 terms after that. Well, we have A4 here, so A5, 7 over 2 plus half 1 over 2, 4, A6 plus half, 9 over 2, A7 plus another half, 5. And that's your answer. Now, question number 4. Now, let us examine 34 to 28. It decreases by, well, we just take 28 minus 34, and we get negative 6 minus 6. Then 28 minus 6, we get 22. 22 minus 6, we get 16. Therefore, it is an arithmetic sequence, where the difference is a negative 6. Right? Now, we want to find the 52nd term, A52. Well, we remember that, of course, the formula is A1 plus dn minus 1. So, A1, what is our first term? 34 plus d, well, our difference is negative 6 minus 6. So, n, how many times? 52 minus 1, of course. The 52nd term will be negative 272. Now, explicit formula equals 34 minus 6 n minus 1 equals what? We get 34 minus 6n plus 6 equals 40 minus 6n. And then for the fifth term, of course, 16 minus 6 we get 10. Sixth term, 10 minus 6 we get 4. Seventh term, 4 minus 6 we get negative 2. And that is your answer. Now let us go to a more different style of questions. Now, let us look at this. We want to solve the sum of an arithmetic sequence, right? So for 11, let's say we have a first term of 2, difference of 4, and we want to find what is our 21st term. So of course, very simple. I'll take our first term, 2, plus difference, 4. How many times? 21n minus 1. What we get? 4, 21 minus 1. We get 82. That is our 21st term. Now moving, we want to find out the 31st. We want to find the sum of the 31st term. How do we find? Well, easy. First, let's go step by step, right? So we want to find the 31st term. So never mind, let me show you. So we have to find the first term plus the 31st term over 2 multiplied by the number of times we want to the number of terms, right? So it's 31. Now we want to find A31, the 31st term, right? How do we find? It's very simple. 2 plus 4, 31 minus 1. What do you get? 2 plus 4, 30. 1 to 2. And then we have our answer. We can input it here. So A1, 2 plus 1 to 2 over 2 multiplied by 31. What we get? We get 2 plus 1 to 2 over 2 multiplied by 31. We get 1922. And that's your answer. Now for question 13, let me remove out this part. First, never mind, I'll do it at the bottom in case you need to refer. 13, so we get the first term equals 18, and the last term equals 75, and assuming that is an arithmetic sequence, right? We find the sum of the 20 term. First term plus 75 plus 20 term divided by 2 multiplied by the number of times. Get 930, and that is your answer. Finally, on the last question, right? Something we can apply into finance and economics, right? Okay, loan repayment. If you borrow 4,800 and repay the loan by paying $200 per month to reduce the loan, and 1% of the unpaid balance each month for the use of money, what is the total cost of loan over 24 months? Now, I suggest you having a go at this before I continue. Okay, assuming that you've given a go at this, let me try to solve it for you, right? So if you borrow 4,800, so let us divide, because we are going to pay back the loan and we're going to pay interest, right? So unpaid balance. Well, initially we have 4,800. Then after that we pay 200 per month, right? Then we get 4,600. Then 4,400. Then 4,200. And so on until we reach a balance of 200. Of course, we will reach 0. But then let us keep it this way, because for 0, we don't need to pay. For 0, we don't need to pay any interest on that. So what about the interest? Well, if 1% of the unpaid balance, so 1% of 4,800 is 48. 1% of 4,600, 46, 44, going on 42, until you reach 2. And it goes on until you reach 2. Now, of course, for balance of 0, you don't pay anything. So, right, now that we've written the sequence out, what is the total cost of the loan over 24 months? Well, they are not really asking you for the amount you have to pay back after 24 months. What they are asking you, the total cost. The cost is the interest. The cost is the interest. Interest paid. Well, what is the total cost of the loan over 24 months, right? So, now that we know that, of course, we are going to pay over 24 months. So this is our first term. Our first payment is 48. Our last payment at the 24th month is $2, right? Now, we know that our difference is 2, right? Because negative 2, my bad, negative 2. Each time we go down, we minus 2, right? Now, then another thing we need to know is that the amount of times, well, 24, right? Amount of time, 24 months. So the total cost is quite simple. It's the sum of 24, right? How do we find the sum of the first 24 terms? Well, take A1, the first term, plus the A24, divide by 2, multiplied by the amount of times, right? So 24. So 24. Okay, we can see n here. Then I will slowly do all the working for the 8 plus 2 over 2 multiplied by 24. And what is the answer? Answer is $600. So our total, this is our total interest cost. And that is your answer.